everyone, Brad Larson, owner Larson Properties. In this video I want to talk to you basically to the owners directly about homeowners associations and with the tenant potentially moving into your home. I always think it's a good idea for owners to contact the HOA, let them know that a tenant will be moving in. And you may be required to do this because if that tenant's going to go get a pool key or some sort of remote or register with the HOA directly, they will need that information, especially for pool keys. That's without a doubt, because to get a pool key to a particular tenant, they have to take a copy of their lease, go to the homeowners association office, register that lease and register as the tenant, and then they're going to be assigned a pool key or a pool pass or a remote for the front gate or whatever it could be for that homeowners association. So that's one thing you definitely want to do. Violations, so let's talk about that. We do get violations about tenants, particularly violating one of the 3 or 4 biggest things that we see. So the 3 or 4 big violations we're always going to see is the trailers and the boats being parked in the front driveway or on the street. Now obviously that's a direct violation of the HOA bylaws because you can't park a boat in the driveway, you can't park a trailer in the driveway long term. So we do get a lot of those letters delivered to the owners, and I'm going to talk you through a little bit more, but let's finish up some of the bad things. So let's say a tenant may have basketball goals, they might not take care of the yard particularly perfectly well, and or they may have garbage cans that are being left out. So those are the big 4 that we see: the trailers, the boats, the garbage cans, the basketball goals, soccer goals, and the yards not being maintained to standard. If any of those particular issues happens, please let us know. We will inform the tenant, and the tenant will incur an actual $25 fine for any process that we have to go through to inform them of them breaking the rules. Now we might offer one sort of grace, we may not, but it really depends on the situation. So especially if it's a 2nd or 3rd violation, we will charge the tenant. Now per the lease agreement, I want to make sure this is clear, that any tenant violations that are incurred that incur a fine to the owner, the tenant is obligated to pay. Now fining the owner for a tenant's obligations is pretty rare. I mean, very rare. They often get 1 or 2 or even 3 warning letters before an actual fine's imposed on that particular homeowner. If that becomes the case, then naturally we would put that back onto the tenant with handling fees, and that's going to be paid for out of the tenant's proceeds. So the tenant would reimburse the owner in that regard. And also that's going to reflect on the if you want to renew that particular tenant or at what rate you want to particularly renew that tenant. They might be good tenants as far as paying on time, but if they're not paying and doing what they're supposed to be doing with their HOA violations, if there are any, that could raise their rent substantially. So all these are going to come around full circle to bite the tenant if they're not paying attention. Now, again, any violations that come through to the owner, please notify us. We'll begin starting the file on that particular tenant to make sure they're notified, and that we, if we need to, we will potentially fine them for causing that violation. So that's just a little quick word on the HOAs. Should you have any further questions, feel free to get in touch with us at 210-497-8686. Thanks for watching and take care.